Let people populate. I got a full slate of topics today. We're going to get into picks last. We're just going to be a little more official. So hop on in. We'll still get to comments for everyone who's in the chat. We'll still get to comments as we go through this. We'll get to feedback. Not taking calls today, but yeah, we'll be going through some topics and any feedback on these potentially controversial items. We're going to interact. So you got something to say. You got something to say to me. This is your opportunity to get it. And of course, it wouldn't be a Pick 'em PD live if we didn't get into some locks at the end. Bo Sox says, "What's up? Happy to see you, bro. Happy to see you. We're doing NFL talk today. NFL talk today. We're live on the SoBet Scoop on Twitch. This is going to be a typical Tuesday show. We got long money in here, so you know it's a SoBet Scoop show. The most dedicated member, Larry. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you in here. Sorry I haven't been as dialed into the memes lately, but don't think I'm not watching them. Don't think I'm not getting that stuff. How's everyone doing today? We just closed out a solid NFL week. Had a brutal Monday night game to watch. Absolutely atrocious game. One of the worst I've seen, and that's saying a lot for the primetime games we've had to be put through this year. It looked like Thursday night. I'm not even gonna lie. Also, we have to talk about the fact that Prime goes, all right, we don't have the Thursday slot. We're going to be a Friday slot. And they still deliver an absolute trash bag of a game. Just one of the worst games ever. And it's the Prime curse. I'm telling you, I hate Jeff Bezos. I'm actually happy that his primetime games always suck. It's like the players even get together beforehand and be like, we're not gonna have a good game this time, right? We're not gonna we're not gonna play well. You know, even the Ravens and the Bengals, one of the best rivalries in the sport, and a hugely important game for both teams, an opportunity for the Bengals to push for it. And they just play the worst game of the year together, and Burrow gets injured for the season. It really is a Prime curse. Eagles game wild. As a Bills fan, I just can't professionally speak about it. It's too much of an emotional subject. I really can't get into it like that. It's just an absolutely heartbreaking game. But shout out to Joshua Allen, the real MVP. If there's one takeaway from that game, it's the fact that if you think Jalen Hurts is on Josh Allen's level, turn the TV off. Stop watching. You don't get opinions anymore. Put yourself on mute. That's all I'm saying. Both Sox, appreciate you, though. You know what's going on. You've been keeping up, so I appreciate it. Long Money says it's been $100 million for that Prime game. Honestly, good. I mean, come on, Jeff Bezos. He got divorced. That cost like $80 billion at the time. He can waste $0.1 billion on a shitty game. He can waste $0.1 billion on watching watching a halftime Hail Mary pick six. That's got to be the first time that's ever happened, right? Max Albs is in the chat. Love to see it, bro. How you doing? And we're getting gifts from Raymond. Appreciate it. Wide-eye worsty. What is going on with these gifts? That's electric. We're gonna get into some topics. Like I said, we got we're live on the SoBet Scoop on Twitch. We're gonna get through a few NFL topics. We're gonna talk to the chat. I'm just gonna get on my Colin Cowherd shit, if you don't mind. We got some talks. We got some stuff to get through. Go ahead, though. I want your opinions. We're going to get to it. We got Glow Stick in here. We got Ziggy talking about favorite play of the day. We are going to get to favorite plays of the day towards the end of this. I will say the over in the Lakers Warrior is one I'm looking at. But again, that'll be the final segment. We'll get into the actual analysis. It's kind of our final moment here. But we got a few topics to get through. And Bo Sox says he's a Pats fan, so he feels my pain right now. I mean, listen, you don't get to feel my pain after 6 rings. You don't understand. But I appreciate you. All right, let's talk about it. Topic number 1 we have to get into. This is called Best or Bust, okay? Listen, it's the first time I'm doing this, Best or Bust. It's not the best name I've ever had in my life, but that's what we're calling it. And we're going to talk about a few QBs. Number 1, we got Justin Fields. Okay, Justin Fields is the first. As you know, I took his under on passing yards at the beginning of the season. Now, this wasn't completely out of disrespect for Fields. It's the fact he's a mobile quarterback. He uses his legs. He ended up getting hurt for 4 or 5 games, so the under automatic. And if we're being honest, I got the under on Bryce Young. I got the under on Justin Fields. I got the under on Anthony Richardson, who I like, but also injury. So, blessed by those. But let's talk about Justin Fields. Is this his final opportunity? He comes back after 4 games out. We got D2 Tyson Bagent comes in, gets more wins than he had. Finally, Fields is back. He's healthy. He comes in. He loses to the Lions. It was a great game. They blew it at the end, but he performed. He was able to almost beat the, at the time, 1-loss Lions. An electric game, a strong performance from him. It looked like he came out ready to play, ready to show, I'm not done yet. And then he goes into his next game. It's the Vikings, who people are kind of hot on. He goes up against the Vikings, and he squeaks out a win. Now, are we going to give him his flowers for a 12-10 victory? I'm not going to say the guy balled out. But I will say something that I noticed more in this game than I've ever noticed before watching the Bears. I don't love Justin Fields. I don't think he is a playoff quarterback even. But we got to assign some of the blame towards this joke of an offensive line. Yeah, he's running all the time. Absolutely. But he's running from blitzes. He's running from extreme pressure. He's rolling around the pocket. And it's been tough for them to bring him down. There were multiple plays where he should have been sacked for an 8-10 yard loss, and he broke free. He got out of there. We saw Tyson Bagent. It's not a great example. It's not a great example of what a quarterback should be. So him struggling isn't like, well, nobody can succeed in that because, he might be the lowest ranked QB in the NFL at this point. Shout out to Tim Boyle. He should be the worst quarterback to ever play the game. Shout out Nathan Peterman. He's up there too. Also Chicago Bear. But, we haven't seen great things from Justin Fields, but I think the last 2 games are the most encouraging. So this is what I'm going to say. Best or bust, we're not going to write him off officially. He's got 5 games left in this season. If he can finish these final 5 games, 6, maybe 6, maybe I'm wrong about that, but these final 5 to 6 games, and he can play at kind of that level, at the 250-yard level, then he's got a chance. But here is the bigger issue. The Panthers are the worst team we've ever seen in football, basically. They are going to be in last place. The Bears are going to get the first overall draft pick. You cannot not take Caleb Williams. So I think Fields' best case scenario is proving that he is a worthy candidate for another NFL team. He's not going to be the starter next year, and he's not an old like veteran that can, have Caleb Williams shadow him. No, you get Caleb Williams, you throw him to the Wolves, you trade Justin Fields and try to get some targets and some offensive line for Caleb Williams. So we're not going to say he's a bust, but his days in Chicago are done. Before we get the next couple, addressing some of these comments. Free play, what are we riding tonight? Like I said, the Lakers-Warriors over. I'll have more detail on that in the last segment. Also, video coming. Don't call me Fade God. It makes me sad. Please don't do that. Bears get Williams and Fields. Ask for a trade next year. Dan Matt's 100%. He shouldn't even have to ask for it. They should be like, this is best for both of us. Send him. So now we have to talk about another thing. Josh Dobbs, okay? People love the Dobbs magic. They love the pastronaut, the rocket scientist that is balling out. Kind of a stinker last game, and the game before wasn't great. In fact, the game that he played the best with the Vikings was a game where he didn't know the playbook. He ran around wild. He had some crazy plays. The other team didn't really know how to prepare for him, how to deal with them. Yeah, the Warriors are playing the Kings. Yes, so that's Warriors-Kings over. Am I crazy? Warriors Kings over. Did I misspeak? Sorry about that. But Josh Dobbs, where are we on Josh Dobbs at this point? He throws 4 interceptions. He threw 4. Someone's saying 3. He threw 4 interceptions. I mean, I'm not going to judge him as a 4-interception guy, but similar to Baker Mayfield with the Rams last year, comes in, absolutely no preparation, no playbook, goes out, delivers a great game, I shouldn't even say a great game, a great finish to the game. And next thing you know, we love him, but then he goes into a normal situation, can't really perform. I mean, we remember that Christmas beatdown that happened. That was a sight. Sorry, that was his only other good game. So I didn't believe in Josh Dobbs when I saw him for the Titans last year. I didn't really believe in him for the Cardinals this year, but I'm giving a lot of credit to the other players because I do like Kyler Murray, and he's not exactly having the time of his life with this team. So I think Dobbs has kind of a Baker Mayfield trajectory. I think he's going to bounce around. He's in the Fitzpatrick Mayfield kind of ring. He's going to go. He is enough to give a decent team an opportunity to win. He's enough to not be embarrassed. But he's not a rookie. He's had some opportunities. He's got some athleticism, but we don't see a high ceiling for him. And he's just going to be a journeyman. Yeah, play backup quarterback. Go fill in for a team that needs someone. He should have ended up on the Jets this year. I think that's probably the best situation that the Jets could have asked for, but now it's too late for their season anyway. He's like Matt Moore. Yeah, that's a good comparison as well. Should go be Bengals backup. I would have thought so too. I guess they believe in Browning. He looked horrible, unsurprisingly. Like he's one of the worst backup QBs around. If you look at his college stats, I was reading up on him. He really balled out in college for a little bit. Then he got hurt, came back, wasn't that great, didn't get drafted, found a way, bounced around from practice squad. So he's had no success in the NFL. And not that the Steelers is an easy assignment, but that was a really tough performance that we saw from him. Unsurprisingly, but still very bad. Dobbs is not a top 10 team starter. No, I wouldn't even call him top 20, borderline top 20. There's a lot of good quarterbacks right now. There's 10 quarterbacks. There's 10. You want to talk top 10. You're talking about 10 very good quarterbacks. The Flacco news, that's interesting. The Browns start DTR. I don't know what's going on with that. They had some success with PJ Walker. We are watching some bad backup QB play. I gotta say, what are we like you can't pay excuse me, a few extra mil to have a quality, like kind of over the hill, but used to be really good quarterback, like a Cam Newton on your team. I don't get it. We got to see some better backup QB play. And then lastly, Bryce Young. This is what I'm going to say about Bryce Young. He's got no targets. He's got no offensive line. He barely has a defense. His run game is nothing. If there was ever a situation where you are set up for failure, it is the Panthers this year. And Frank Reich is gone. So thank God. He is terrible. How did he get an opportunity? How does Frank Reich go to Indianapolis, turn a borderline playoff team into a laughingstock of the league, get fired, get a new job with with a number 1 overall pick? You're going to have Frank Reich come in. I understand he was a QB at one point. I understand he had a great comeback. I'm a Buffalo guy. I know the lore. I know why people liked Reich. Bro, he is not a head coach. He's not a head coach. He has failed again and again. At some point, we have to let the results speak for themselves and stop making excuses, especially on a head coach. I think more so than any other situation. So, no. Did we expect the Panthers to come out and be great? Absolutely not, of course. But Frank Reich isn't helping. So what we're going to do with Bryce Young is we're going to call him an absolute wash this season. No takeaways from Bryce Young's performance this season. We knew he'd suck. He did suck. But I'm not saying he sucks. I'm saying no takeaways. We didn't get any information. It's such a disaster of a situation that him going out and sucking is like him not playing. It was an inevitable result. Panthers, it might end up being the worst trade ever. Not getting Stroud and giving away Caleb Williams to do it, but here we are. So, CJ Stroud came out of nowhere. Absolutely. That's the biggest breakthrough this season. It's going to be interesting seeing how he finishes up this year. He's played some excellent football. He's already established himself as like the rookie of the year is his to lose. He's not in the MVP conversation the way some people talk. I won't say he's not in the MVP conversation. He's very good. But I don't think he's going to be MVP. I do think he's going to be rookie of the year, and I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. But years 2 and 3, we're going to learn a lot. Justin Herbert, very good quarterback. Team around him sucks, but not massive leaps from year 1. Some people see a rookie in year 1, they're like, oh my God, if he keeps up at this pace, he's going to be the best quarterback ever. And it's just rarely the case. You don't see that massive, massive growth unless they're underperforming significantly the rookie year. Josh Allen looked like a pretty mediocre rookie. Now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. That's because his rookie year, he hadn't figured stuff out. He wasn't delivering on that potential. CJ Stroud has delivered on his potential. He's not going to improve at the rate of Josh Allen. I do think he's got a very strong future. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. He is a top 5 quarterback based on his performance so far this year. They need to figure things out with that defense for him to have a shot at really winning. I think they're going to miss the playoffs by a moment here. Dak is playing like one of the best QBs in the NFL. Dak is a guy, he's got a bad rep. He's got bad narratives around him, and it's difficult for him to overcome them. It's not shocking. He's overplaying a little bit, and he's boosted his stats by beating down some bad teams, but he's not a bad quarterback. I don't know why people are surprised that he's balling out. He's a very talented quarterback, throws a few too many picks. He's had some freak accidents. There's some bad luck, things like that, but he's not a bad quarterback. Acting like Dak Prescott isn't an elite quarterback. I shouldn't even say elite, but like a top 8 quarterback is crazy. He is. He always has been. So, yes, he's balling out. No, you shouldn't be shocked by that. Purdy's a top 20 QB. I'd say Purdy's a top 12 QB. You could argue your way up to 8 with him. You could argue your way up to 8. I think a lot of people would agree with that if it weren't for the way that he played on that 3-game losing streak. It's tough. He loses that elite left tackle. He loses CMC for a game. He loses Debo, and he can't really ball out the same way. That's pretty telling. but like, you want to call him top 10. He makes some good plays. It's just hard to get information when we don't know what he looks like with a mediocre offensive line and mediocre targets. So if you want to say top 12, I'm okay with that. Top 10, you can make that argument. I wouldn't really go past that. Yeah, I don't think he's horrible. I think we see him throw very good balls. I understand he has a lot of opportunities to succeed. But yeah, that's how I feel. And we'll find out soon enough. We'll see if the Niners are willing to pay him. They're my Super Bowl favorite from the NFC right now. I think they win the NFC. I think they beat the Eagles pretty soundly. And that's going to you kind of have to pay a guy that gets you a ring, but if any team doesn't, it's the Niners. So we'll see what goes on with that. Bucks minus 4.5 versus the Heat today. I like Bucks minus 2.5, which is what I got him earlier. Would I take 4.5? Not necessarily. Yahoo. Good to see you, bro. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the rumor mill. Aaron Rodgers' return, okay? Aaron Rodgers' return, which I'm just going to say it. Last year, when everyone was saying Aaron Rodgers is just obsessed with attention, this whole am I going to retire thing, this whole media circus is just because he's obsessed with attention. I was like, give the guy a break, okay? He's 38. He wants to legitimately consider retirement. Now, yeah, Aaron Rodgers just wants attention. I was wrong. He is an attention whore. And he's not coming back. He was never coming back. The idea, obviously, he's going to use the excuse now that it doesn't make sense for him to come back, and it obviously doesn't. It never did. Do you want a quarterback that can hardly move in front of that Swiss cheese offensive line? It's a disaster. But he was never going to be he was never going to be coming back this year. It was never going to happen. There are two options. One, he didn't tear his Achilles. Two, he can't come back this year. And you could break records on Achilles return. Shocking as a 39-year-old, 40-year-old, but really impossible that he would break the record for return to action by like 40% of the time frame. That was never going to happen. And what we can take away from that, and he wants to become a personality that we've already had. Okay, we've had it for years now. When people were talking about, shut up and dribble, they're talking about LeBron James. They're saying, focus on being basketball. We don't need to hear from you on every issue. This isn't your space. You're a basketball player. Just play basketball. I thought that was out of line. I thought that was fucked up. They said that it was out of line. I think athletes, you have a voice, you should use it. But if your voice sucks, then you shouldn't. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you got our attention. Here's a microphone. Start talking, buddy. You got ears. You got ears and eyes on you. You have a chance to talk. You earned that opportunity by the success you had in football. Anyone who's that successful gets a platform, gets an opportunity to talk. And then he opens his mouth and it's like, all right, time to come on the Pat McAfee show and shift every single conversation into the most hacky talking points. You even say he wants everything. I haven't heard anyone other than him talk about the vaccine, and he talks about it every single week in years. It's crazy how out of touch, outdated he is with the stuff he's talking about. He's talking about, and then he comes in and he says, Pat asks him, what's going on with what Tom Brady said about how the league's soft now and he can't hit the same way, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, I think it's indicative of, a greater problem in society. I think people are just getting soft in general. Brother, are you going to start complaining about participation trophies right now? Like we have people that are making the same hacky talking points you're trying to make right now. You're a QB. You want to talk about rule changes in the NFL? We want to hear your opinion because you are qualified to talk about that. You want to talk about how, yeah, the world's gone soft and yeah, we don't know what's going on with modern medicine. You don't know what you're talking about. You sound unintelligent. And more importantly, every single thing that you choose to talk about, so many people have covered, and you're like 3, 4, 5 years behind. It's like watching a comedian walk up on stage and say, dating's hard. Buddy, we already have someone that says that. Aaron Rodgers, shut up and dribble. You're gone. We don't like you anymore. You became a Jet. I thought, all right, he's going to New York. I kind of want to see this narrative. I'm in the AFC East. I'm Bills Mafia. I still want to hear about it. Just Close 6 says, how about that airline food? That's literally who Aaron Rodgers has become. And he thinks he's this countercultural spokesperson. He thinks he's this punk dude, I'm going against the grain. And it's like, you're just a copy and paste personality. And people say, Dan Madsen in here in the chat, saying this is a marketing stunt. Okay. This is just an opportunity for him to sell more merch, all that stuff. The dude is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't understand at a certain point being like, this is a marketing stunt, make a few extra bucks, do this, do that. Like if Aaron Rodgers wants a few extra bucks, play one more game of football than he was prepared to play. That's all he's got to do. He will make money for as long as he wants. He has the name, he has the notoriety, he has the impact on the NFL. He can do that. Can the Bills still make the playoffs and why not? This was not on the topic list, but I need to address this as Bills Mafia. Absolutely 100%. Will they? I have to say it's sub 50%, just speaking from a probability perspective. But the Bills are 6-6. If they win 4 of their last 5 games, they're probably a coin flip on making it, the way the AFC is shaping up. They win 5 games, 99% chance they make it. They play the Chiefs away. They play the Cowboys at home. They play the Chargers at home. They play the Patriots. I believe that's at home, but it doesn't matter. And then they go to Miami. Those are their final 5 games. Okay? Those are their final 5 games. I think they should be favored against the Chiefs. I don't think they will, but they should be favored against the Chiefs. And I feel very confident they're going to beat the Chiefs. We've seen the way the Chiefs are playing this year. We've seen the way the Bills are playing. The Bills have stepped up. They figured out what's going on in the offense. Joe Brady's in there. Now he's got 2 weeks to really insert himself as the OC, start working with the playbook, start getting comfortable. And most importantly, and this is the most infuriating thing ever, you can talk about injuries to the defense. You can talk about bad luck, 12 men on the field, terrible coaching decisions, kneeling with 20 seconds, all things that hurt the Bills, who should be 10-2 right now, honestly. 8-4 minimum. But you let Josh Allen run, and he suddenly goes from being a good quarterback, like a top 5 quarterback, to the most dangerous offensive weapon in football. That was it. You just say, Josh, you can run now on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7. You can run if you need to run. That was the only thing. It took any single person, any citizen of Buffalo has been screaming that at the top of their lungs since the first game of the season, saying, let Josh run, let Josh run. And it took until now to say, yeah, I guess we're going to let Josh run. Yeah, no shit. Oh, suddenly he's the best quarterback in the NFL. How about that? We have just one of the scariest football players to ever play the game, and you're like, we just want him to be very good, not the best ever. Aaron Rodgers is a top 5 QB talent-wise of all time. Absolutely. I'm not talking shit about Aaron Rodgers' talent as a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers won 4 MVPs in a row. That's unheard of. There was a period where he was so unstoppable, it's insane. He was the best quarterback in the NFL for several years consecutively. Absolutely outrageous run. And I still think he's capable of being a good quarterback. But as a personality, just absolutely insufferable. Why do that? You're a hero. People love you. A 4-time MVP. You got a Super Bowl ring. And you have to go out there every week and embarrass yourself. I don't care if you agree with his opinions or disagree. We've just heard the same shit come out of a million people's mouths years ago. You're good at one thing, means you get an opportunity to use your voice. You used your voice. We hate it. Shut the fuck up. That's what I think about Aaron Rodgers. I'll say his sense of humor is just not good. He really thinks he's a funny guy. Kind of like the kid who dislikes stuff. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Bills real quick before we get to this final topic. So the Bills have 5 games remaining to play. I think they're playing their best football offensively now. I think that's without a doubt. Allen's dialed in. He's using his legs. They're going to beat teams. I think they beat the Chiefs. Absolutely. I think they beat the Cowboys. Those are 2 tough games, but I think I would give them a 65% chance of beating the Chiefs. 60% chance. They're at home. I'll say 65% chance against the Cowboys as well. They play the Chargers, 70%. I'm a Bills guy. They play the Patriots. I know they lost one, but 99%. The Patriots are, I would say, tanking based on the missed field goal at the end of the game, but Belichick's probably out, so I don't know if he would be involved in the tank, but they're going to destroy the Patriots. Then they go play the Dolphins. And if the Dolphins suck, they'll be playing for the AFC East. If the Bills win 4 in a row and the Dolphins drop 2 of 5, they'll be playing for the division. It's definitely possible the Dolphins will already have 12 wins at that point, and there's no shot. But if that's the case, the Dolphins might be benching people, in which case the Bills 90% win right there. Now, the Dolphins would probably start people in Week 18 because they want to eliminate the Bills and not play the Bills. The Bills have had a ton of success against them. So I think they're going to play a ready-to-go Dolphins team at home. Whether the stakes are for the division or just a playoff spot, it's going to be an intense game. But I think the odds of the Bills winning out are strong. I mean, they won the last 8 games of their season last year. And I don't think there's a massive talent drop-off from last year. I know people want to say it, and the record is significantly worse. But I don't think the talent drop-off is that significant at all. I think the defense is a little worse because of injuries. I think the offense might even be better. Talent-wise, definitely better. Execution-wise, the offensive line is really strong. Allen's using his legs. He's dialed in. You got Diggs. You got Davis. Shakur's getting involved more. I like what we're seeing from Cook. Kincaid looks great. I think this is the best offense in the NFL. And if they find a way into the playoffs, they're my favorite to come out of the AFC. That is an unbiased take. I am a Bills fan. That's what I want, but that's how I genuinely feel. If you ask me, when the Bills were 5-4, I was less confident in the Bills. I think firing Dorsey was huge. I love the way they're playing right now on offense. McDermott makes me want to slap him in the face frequently, but he's a great defensive coordinator. Kind of a meltdown in the second half, I understand. But yeah, Bills, if they can squeak into the playoffs, they're a scary, scary fucking team. Now, we got to move on. Trending up, trending down. This is our last topic for the So Bad Show before we get into these picks, so stick around for those picks real quick. Trending up, trending down. We're going to be focused on the NFC South right here. We got a lot of stuff going on in the NFC South. Number one, trending up, the Packers. The Packers are 5-6 right now. They looked really good against the Lions. Jordan Love looked really good. He's starting to hit his spots a little bit better. This team, are they delivering on those expectations? I mean, it's his first year. It's his first year leading this offense, really his first year of playing football at the NFL level. So we should expect to see people progress significantly week over week as the season goes on. There should be a big difference between week 1, 2, and 3 and the final 5 weeks of the season. And now they're 5-6. They just handed the Lions a loss. The Lions are struggling a little bit. That defense is starting to look like we thought it might look. I'm not saying they can catch the Lions, but I am saying that 9 or 10 wins is going to get the Packers into the playoffs. And they got 5 wins, and they got 6 games left. Okay? So they go 5-1, even 4-2. They got a chance at sneaking in. I think I'd have to look at their schedule, 4-2, but they're trending up. Whether they make it in this year or not, the way Jordan Love has played these last 2 weeks, the way the defense has played since a couple injuries healed up, very encouraging. I think this is a team that has a lot of potential in the near future and also over the next several years. I expected good things from Love at the beginning of the season. I started to feel disappointed. Last couple of weeks, that's changed. And that happening when it did after the bye week as he has a chance to digest what's been going on in his first season as an NFL starter, it's encouraging. NFC South pick, I'm not going to get away from the Lions in this case. Sorry, that's the North. NFC South. Let me just pull up the NFC South to make sure I'm looking at the right stuff right now. Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Panthers. I got the Panthers, man. No, I think the Falcons pull it out. I think it's a joke of a division. I just don't like Derek Carr, and I think it's going to go to the Falcons. But it's a one and done from the winner of that trash conference. Really, really pathetic division, and I think Carolina's mathematically eliminated. I don't think I know they're 4 games back with 6 games left, but I think given the scheduling, I think they actually are officially eliminated. Regardless, obviously not happening. Anyway, so trending up, we have the Packers. I would like to see them make a playoff run this year. I don't really think they'll get over the hump and be able to do that, but I like what I'm seeing. I think Jordan Love, unless he flops these past few games, if he continues what he's doing, even close to that level that he performed on Thanksgiving and the level he performed the week before, I think this is the future of the Packers. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Brett Favre, but he's a good quarterback that can lead a solid Packers team to winning that division, to making the playoffs. Granted, you got the Lions in there now, and they're looking like a quasi-powerhouse. I don't want to give them that status yet. I'm not feared about the Lions making a deep run. I don't think defensively they have what it takes at this point, and I don't think Goff is a Super Bowl quarterback. I was on the fence about it. I think he's maybe the 10th best quarterback, 11th best quarterback. You can win a Super Bowl with that, but you can't win a Super Bowl with the 11th best quarterback and a weak defense. Aiden Hutchinson couldn't get any pressure on Love. That was really telling. And I think he's a great pass rusher already. I think he's got a really good future in the league. But what I saw from the Lions in that last game, I don't think that's a Super Bowl team. I think that's a 1 playoff win type team. Nick Foles technically a 10 QB when they won. Absolutely, but he had more talent around him. When I say technically a 10 QB, I think outside of the 10. But again, more talent around him. I mean, Peyton Manning, when he won his Super Bowl, I don't know if he was a top 10 QB that year, if we're being honest. But that was a top 1 defense. So I don't think this Lions defense can do it. I think coming out of the NFC is going to be the Niners. I've felt that way for a while. But number 2, I would say the Cowboys. Number 3 would be the Eagles. Number 4 would be the Lions. And I don't think we need to pay attention to any other team besides that in the NFC in terms of being a playoff threat. So that is our trending down team, is the Lions. And then aside from the Lions, we also have the Vikings. Listen, we were hyped about Dobbs. We loved what we saw from him that first game with the Vikings. He continued the win streak. We thought, oh shit, Vikings might still be alive. We might have something. After last night, it's not because I saw one game and I said, oh, Dobbs sucks now. it's because we expected him to be okay at best. And then he was like, oh, he might be good. And then he was really bad. The really bad is a lot more believable that would be sustainable, that will continue than the really good play. So for that reason, I have the Vikings trending down. I think Dobbs, again, journeyman QB. He's going to be on a different team. Hopefully they can get Cousins back because I think Cousins is top 10. I think Cousins is like the 7th best quarterback in the NFL right now. Someone did ask my top 5, so I'm going to give that real quick. I'll give you top 5 based on the way people have performed this year. And I'm going to include Burrow in that. I'm not going to include Rodgers because there's a bigger question mark around where Rodgers is at right now. So, like, he's just a question mark. I'm not saying he's not top 5. He's just question mark. We're not going to discuss him now. We are going to discuss Burrow. We saw enough from him this year to say he's still top 5. Based on the way they've played this year, I like Josh Allen at number 1. I like all right, factoring in how they played this year and my actual expectation of who's good, because like I'm gonna put Mahomes at number 2, but I think he's played at like 4 this season. But top 5 quarterbacks, I'll go Allen, Mahomes, Burrow. I can't give Stroud top 5 yet because I'm just not going to give it to a rookie. I think he's played top 5 level this season, but I need to see more. I just automatically ruled out of the top 5. So Allen, Mahomes, Burrow. In the 4 spot, I don't know. I think Dak is outplaying his normal self a little bit. Normally, I'd have him at about 7 or 8. I'm okay with giving him the 4 here. Definitely not Purdy. Jalen Hurts, I think, is like 9 or 10. I'm not gonna put him in that spot. I would take Cousins ahead of Hurts. I would take Goff ahead of Hurts. I'm not impressed by Hurts, actually. He's done some really stuff. Zach Wilson is not the worst quarterback this year. Worst quarterback this year is Mac Jones. Tim Boyle, but not enough opportunity. My 4 spot, I'm not going to give it to Tua either. I don't believe the Tua hype. I think he's being carried by Tyreek. Cuts his boyfriend. It is a tough spot. I'm not going to lie. Hurts massively overrated. Who's who people say Purdy is, but can run. More about Brandon. There's an update on that. I really want to say Kirk Cousins, man. I really want to put Kirk Cousins in there. I think it's tough because he doesn't really use his legs the way the other members of the top 4 do. But he passes a really good ball. I'm not going to give it to Tua. I'm going to give it to Stroud. I know I said I wouldn't, but frankly, I would take – if you're talking about quarterbacks that I would want to build my franchise around right now, today, factoring in their age, where they're at, etc. Yeah, Lamar ahead of Stroud is fine. I'm fine with that. But QBs that I would want to build my franchise around, or QBs performing the way they're performing this year that would make the most impact, everything else the same on a random team, it would be Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, and then I would probably put Stroud at number 5, factoring in the fact that he's a rookie. Not factoring in the rookie contract. If you factor in the rookie contract, then definitely. If you want to say Dak there, you want to say Cousins there. People say Tua. I really don't see it. I don't. I'm going to be honest. Anyway, those are my top 5. We got one more on the trend here is the Bears. They're 4-8 now. The season's on. They're not going to the playoffs. But did we see something last night? Did we see something against the Lions? Is it just the Lions playing poorly and the Vikings playing poorly? Because I have the Lions and the Vikings trending down. So does that cancel out the fact that the Bears trending up? Stroud over Hurts, absolutely 100%. Yes, I'm mad because of the Bills, but I would have said that beforehand. Jay, are you talking about Purdy or are you talking about Jalen Hurts? Bears need to be demoted. Weak offense, solid defense. Yeah, we're not going to give the Bears trending up. I think we've seen something. Let me rephrase that. The Bears, we can say the Bears are trending up, but they're trending up from the bottom. They took one step from the cellar upwards. They're trending up, but it's easy to trend up. You can't really trend down. So that's where we go. All right, those are our topics for today. We'll be up here on the SoBet Scoop Twitch stream. Shout out to everyone who's in that. We'll be live here on TikTok as well, Tuesdays at 6, getting into this. We will get some picks in right now. I'm going to give you my 3 for the day, but just so you know, this is going to be a consistent thing on the SoBet Scoop. Sign up for the SoBet. Get my picks daily, extra content daily. We've been killing it. We ended up, I think we've won 3 out of the last 4 weeks. And the losing week, we lost 0.1 units. So lock in. There's the link. You want to grab that. All my action. Stay involved. We have 3 plays today. Okay. Miami plus 7.5. I know the line initially was at 6. Okay. People are talking about that being a public play. It's not, though. Kentucky's actually more public. The line is shifted from Kentucky -6 to Kentucky -7.5. Okay. This is a great play. It's a great opportunity. Miami relies heavily on guard play. Okay. Strong shooting, reliable sort of play, not a real boom or bust type of performance. They're not a team that heavily relies on 3-pointers. That means there's a narrower range in their performance from game to game. They're not going to get blown out. I mean, not to mention they're already a good team. Some would say even better than Kentucky, but they're not a massive boom or bust team. So when you see a big spread against oversized spread against a team that consistently performs at a high level, maybe not the peak, but consistently at a high level, they're far more likely to be able to cover that larger spread. I think they got a shot at winning. I don't think the value is really there to take them to win this game, but I like what we're seeing. Plus 7.5, we love it. Okay. Number 2, we have the Warriors Kings over 236. So I have a video coming about this on TikTok. You'll see it more. But the number one thing in this game, yes, we have 2 teams that put up big numbers consistently, that shoot, that have short time of possession. That's really important for getting these overs. We have an opportunity for some lopsided play because these are teams that rely heavily on the 3 ball. But the more important thing in this game is this is a tournament game. Okay. That means a point differential in wins is factored in. So you're not going to see final 4 minutes, teams up by 10, chewing the clock out. You're not going to see a blowout game, put in the subs, put it away. You're going to see scoring to the end of the game. You're going to see elite performance to the end of the game. They're going to be pushing that 236. When you factor that in, should be more like 245, because between these 2 teams, 236 is low average. Average for them is probably 237.5. They combined for, I think, 252 earlier this year. Kirkland shirt is fire. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, that's play number 2. And then play number 3. The line has shifted somewhat, so we've lost a little bit of value, but Bucks -2.5 against the Heat. I would still take him at -4 if that's still the line. But I like the Bucks -2.5. Absolutely. I think, people remember what happened at the end of last season. Of course, Butler balled out. They won it in 5 games. And that's factoring into the way the public's looking at this game. That factors into the initial line even. 2.5 points, and they're still favored against a team that was making them look silly last playoffs. That was the outlier. That's not how it goes. The Bucks have Dame. When you have similar to what we were talking about, a new quarterback with the Packers, when you have a new asset on an NBA team and players are getting used to playing together, you see significant improvement over the course of a season. We're a 5th of the way through the season now, a little bit past that. It hasn't been a straight line, upward trajectory, but we've seen growth throughout the season. That's because Giannis and Dame are getting used to playing together. That's what it is. Okay? So they're going to continue to improve. They're continuing to be a better team. That makes them undervalued in this spot. I liked it at -2.5. Dubs is saying it opened at 1. I think it's been different on different books. Regardless, I would take it up to -4. You get past -4, -4.5, maybe stay away. That's fine. But I loved it -2.5. I got it there. That's what's up on SoBet. If you're in there, get those early plays so you can lock in on that line when I give it out. Those are my 3 favorite plays today. Look, it's Tuesday. We got no NFL. We're honing in on NBA. We're honing in on college basketball. We're getting ready to ramp up for when football ends and we're all in on basketball. We're getting ready to feast on Vegas. Continue to work with our edge. Continue to feast on what works for us. Continue to run it up on NFL. But we're starting to ramp up on basketball, starting to get the job done. And I love my over-under system. So we're locked in on that Kings Warriors over today. That's going to be my favorite play. But I love that Miami plus 7.5. And I really like Bucks -2.5. Shout out to everyone who's been in the chat. Shout out to everyone who's locked in, who's following the plays on SoBet. Let's keep winning. Everybody, stay involved. We keep going up units week over week, month over month. We stick to the system. Yeah, we've had some ugly games. We lost 2 3.3 unit plays last week, our 2 biggest plays, and we still broke even on the week. That's crazy. We're dialed in. We're hitting this. Get involved. And also, we got more content. We got these streams coming. Again, this is up every Tuesday at 6. Shout out to everyone who got involved. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Cheers.